Good morning, I believe it still is.
Morning, we'll call it that.
Now, you talked a lot about election fraud on direct examination, but you listed a couple, but you didn't talk about one type of election fraud, and that's misinformation.
I didn't talk about a few types of election fraud. There's many ways, but that's one of them, misinformation.
And misinformation is, giving out incorrect information to voters to keep them from voting, right?
That's correct. That's why I did talk about Mr. French appearing to do.
And you found evidence of election fraud in the 2015 Truman mayoral election, right?
Well, that's correct, at least on the part of Mr. French.
Now, to come to your conclusion, you interviewed 400 people from District 12, right?
Myself and my team did, yes.
And 226 residents reported fraud, right?
They reported phone calls coming from an unknown number. I wasn't able to put together the identity of that number, though.
You're saying all 226 reported just phone calls?
There were text messages, too, apparently from the same number, also reporting the flyers that Mr. French was distributing.
So these 226 people reported fraud, but Ginger lost by 223 votes, right?
That's correct.
Let's talk more about the fraud. First, the phone calls, right?
Yeah.
Now, in these phone calls, people were told that they couldn't vote if they didn't own a home. Is that correct?
That was what some people were saying they heard, yes.
And that's not true.
Of course not.
They were also told that they couldn't vote if they didn't have a college education. Is that right?
They were told that, yes.
That's not true.
Everyone knows that's not true.
Now, they were also told that they would have a hefty fine if they had been arrested and tried to vote, right?
That's right.
And that's not true.
That's not true either.
Now, voters also reported a phone call the night before the election and a text message the day of, right?
Some of them did, yes.
And now this text message told them that they could vote not only on the 17th, but also on the 18th.
That's right, a really odd thing. Most people know that election day is election day, not an election couple of days.
So these people received that information that wasn't true.
That's correct, yes.
Now, on election day, these people received flyers. Is that right?
That's right. Casey French was appearing to troll about the neighborhood, handing out these ridiculous flyers.
May I approach him?
You may.
May I approach witness?
You may.
I've just handed you plaintiffs 2. That is the flyer that was distributed to voters in Truman.
That's correct.
Now, all of the reports, they were from District 12, right?
All of the reports of these flyers getting distributed, yes.
And all of the reports of fraud were only in District 12.
All of the ones that I discovered, yes.
Now, District 12 had very high supporters for Ginger, right?
That's right, in the weeks leading up to the election.
And, all right, let's talk more about District 12. District 12, as you said, had mostly low-income, low-education people, right?
Historically, yes.
And you found that the fraud actually targeted these low-educated, low-income people, right?
Well, it appeared to do that, trying to claim if you haven't graduated from college, you can't vote in a district where a lot of people haven't graduated from college. That stands to reason.
So this fraud would dissuade people who would vote for Ginger, these low-income, low-education people.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
If the witness doesn't know, he can answer he doesn't know.
If I may respond, Your Honor.
You may.
This question calls for the witness to speculate on the mindset of individual voters, to speculate whether someone who fits a certain demographic profile might vote for one individual or another, and it's improper for this witness to do so.
I can rephrase.
Very well. So we withdraw the question, withdraw the objection, rephrase, and proceed.
Now, the type of misinformation that was distributed, that would tend to dissuade low education, low income voters.
If they were convinced by it, you could.
And those same low education, low income voters were the same people voting for Ginger.
In the 12th district, yes, many of them were Ginger voters.
Now, you also concluded that Ginger would have won the election without the fraud.
Assuming the 19.5% turnout rate is the 90% estimation for Ms. Ginger's support in District 12, she would have narrowly won the election, yes.
So yes, she would have won the election less the fraud.
That's correct, by my assumptions, yes.
Now, I also would like to talk to you about a memo that you, sorry, that you looked at for coming to your conclusion. May I approach the witness, or approach you opposing counsel?
You may.
Okay, approach witness. This is a memo from Mayor Heisman's campaign that you studied to come to your conclusion in today's case. Do you recognize the document?
Yes, I actually received this from Ms. Ziegler. I can't know for sure whether this came from Max Hyman's campaign.
It appears to be a fair and accurate copy of the document you received.
It appears to be the one that Ms. Ziegler gave me.
Plaintiff moves Plaintiff 7 into evidence.
Object, Your Honor, to this document on the grounds of hearsay.
This goes to underlying facts and data of this expert, and therefore it is admissible because it goes to the underlying facts and data.
Your Honor, opposing counsel is correct that Rule 703 allows experts to testify and come to conclusions based on inadmissible hearsay documents. However, case law Richards v. Mississippi Barbecue clarifies this rule and allows that although they can testify based on information, they cannot simply be conduits to otherwise inadmissible hearsay. Opposing counsel needs to show that this information, this hearsay, was necessary not only for him to come to his conclusions, but for the jury to understand them. Without that foundation being laid, this hearsay is not admissible under Rule 703.
May I respond?
You may.
We are not actually using the statements in the memo for the truth of the matter asserted. We're going to show, if I may proffer, the similarities between the memo and the flyer distributed at the polling place on election day. So it's not necessarily for the truth of the matter asserted, but to show similarities between the two.
And the similarities would be relevant because?
It goes to show a link between Mayor Heisman's campaign and the man distributing misinformation or fraud to the residents of District 12.
Your Honor, that is using this document for the truth of the matter asserted. This document asserts that this strategy, this erosion of education was undertaken by the Heisman campaign. Using them to show a link between the Heisman campaign and the fraud in District 12 is using it for the truth of the matter asserted. It's using it to show that the Heisman campaign was pursuing this strategy, and thus it is hearsay and is inadmissible.
Very well, I'll sustain the objection.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, you did find remarkable similarities between a flyer and a memo that Ziegler gave to you, correct?
Well, besides the fact that the strategies outlined in the supposed memo were legal and the flyer wasn't legal at all, there were a few similarities.
Thank you. No further questions.
No redirect, Your Honor. I ask that the witness be able to step down.